But now the emotion's already there on this man. That's his son, Rory. He can't hold it in, and it hasn't even begun. The man who holds the game's record here and shares the name will blow the horn.
Over to you, Jason.
Family is there in the Guard of Honour. How could you not love this? This man, he represents loyalty. He represents decency. He represents fortitude. He represents coming back when so many thought he was gone. He represents all those little kids that he's had a lifelong impact on simply by just taking a little bit of time for them. This man represents everything that is good about our game. He represents the town of Goulburn, and for the 300th time, he represents the Canberra Raiders. It's his night, it's Jarrod Croker's night.
Well, Dan, you might have to hand me the Kleenex. You got any there? How good is this?
You know, there's been so much discussion about him being left out last week. It's hard not to think the move has not been justified with what we've just seen. They did win, of course, last week by the skin of their teeth. But this is a very special moment. And now, you've had this moment. You had your own farewell. You played in Wayne Pearce's farewell. Now he's got to switch on for a game, as do his teammates.
Yeah, that's the hardest part, isn't it? You can see Jarrod very emotional. The Warriors get the first bite at the Raiders. Here we go.
One of the biggest nights here in years, and it's underway. There's Josh Papali'i carrying it forward. So it's the Canberra Raiders. They've won 7 of their last 8. This might well be the biggest crowd here since the 2019 prelim final. It might be the biggest regular season crowd in, well, at least a decade, maybe 2. This brings back memories of the 90s Raiders at the old Bruce Stadium before it was renovated. This is Zach Wolford. Jack White going into dummy half, and now Joey Tarpanet. Oh, he's been good, Joey Tarpanet. In these last few weeks, so is that man next to him, Josh Papali'i. Jamal Fogarty, the star last week. And Marcelo Montoya is wrapped up. We go to a man who has undoubtedly got the best seat in the house tonight. Matt Russell, hello to you.
Good evening, Dan. Good evening, Stephen. Blocker, I'm with you. Even a neutral sideline reporter had to take some deep breaths as Jarrod Croker ran out on what is a beautiful night in Canberra, a relatively mild winter's evening. And just, Dan, to extend on your point, this could well be the biggest regular season crowd in Canberra since Mal Meninga's farewell game in 1994.
I was just thinking, Matty, thank you. There's been some great days down here. That day, the day Laurie Daly farewell, Johnson getting the kick away. That was hard yakka for the Warriors. There was a game in 93, Canberra Broncos, a game that we hadn't had a game hyped up like it. The prelim final from a few years ago. This stands alongside those. One of the great days in Raiders history is now Albert Hopewadi, who's carrying it forward. That Timmickle, growing with each game. Brought up his 50th last week. Here's White. Horsburgh. Hello to our friends across the Tasman as well, watching through Sky Sport. There's now Hudson Young. Gets it on. Creative. Horsburgh back in the middle. Papali'i stopping and starting. Canberra, positive start from them as Fogarty working the skinny blind. Oh, that's beautifully weighted. Nico Klokstad is gone.
Above the line. Go on.
It's a dropout, and this has been a superb start from the host.
Yeah, it certainly has, and just a couple of offloads just to upset the defensive line of the Warriors. But what about this kick down the short side? Fogarty wrapping up, lets him catch the football. Klokstad knocks him back in the in-goal area. You couldn't have wished for a better start from the Canberra Raiders.
All of you watching at home, I hope this atmosphere is coming through. This is sensational, and now 3rd minute of the game, Jarrod Croker, number 3, a minute's applause. You want to be careful. He'll have tears in his eyes for 80 minutes, and that's a great moment for the Warriors getting that back just to snuff things out. So Fanua Blake taking it there and just nullifying that opening from Canberra. Man on debut. On the tower. Rocco Berry was concussed last week, so that presents this young man with a chance. Sprightly run this from Egan, although Papali'i sends him back. Harris, full. Heavy defence. The number 12 for Canberra, Whitehead, return. As now they make it over halfway. Luke Metcalf, his 3rd game in Warriors colours. Johnson hurrying that kick, and it's a good one. Sebastian Chris back from a knee injury.
Yeah, and that was a great tackle there by Papali'i on Wade Egan, but just watch him out of dummy half. They're not the fastest moving defensive line, the Canberra Raiders. I reckon he might have a field day here this evening.
So now Matt Timoko. Canberra Raiders 8 wins, 5 losses. Warriors 7 and 6. Whiten now to Croker, and the crowd rises. It's an imposing first run. As now Fogarty sends it on. Here's a strong burst from Papali'i, and here come the Raiders, but this is the last tackle. Fogarty's away from the post, but he puts in the kick, and now they just take Montoya over the back. Whitehead with the chase. This is awesome stuff from Canberra.
Yeah, it's been some sort of start, but the quick play the ball from Papali'i too. Put the pressure on straight away. The Warriors on the back foot. Fogarty with the grubber kick. Just the bounce of the ball, it bounced away there from Whitehead. But that's a second line drop out there for us. What a start and what a run by Croker.
So they got this back, the Warriors, the last time. And that one's got the distance easily, but Horsburgh's there.
He's offside.
Picking up the scraps. And then, well, the question is, who did it come off? Was it, if it's tapped back by a Warrior, it was fine. It was Young. And of course, if it did come off a Raider, then absolutely he was offside. So the Warriors are full set inside the 10. Wolford. Horsburgh. Catch and pass. As Tarpanet gets it on. And a new set begins. As Elliott Whitehead closed down. It's been all Canberra early. Now it's Tarpanet. Tarpanet heading for the posts. Bunty of 4 down low. And up top there, Murata Niakorte. Here's Fogarty getting it on. Whiten away to Chris. The hands, a little clip there on Croker, but he'd already lost it. He'd already lost it, and the Warriors survive.
I'll tell you what, he does it really well. Lesniak just comes in. He makes the decision to close that off. The pass wasn't great, but just watch Lesniak here. Come straight in to just shut that down. Had a man on the outside in Hopewadi, but he goes at 100 miles an hour. There's the loose ball.
And you can see on that replay, he was struck across the chest anyway.
How good are they? They've held on really well. The emotion, as I said, will last for about 5 minutes. They've hung on the Warriors.
This is the new age Warriors that we've become accustomed to this year. They've got some real steel about them. Last week, a thumping win over the Dolphins. They were aided by a sin binning where they really took advantage, but as even Wayne Bennett said, the Warriors were clearly the better team last Saturday. And now Tohu Harris, he's playing through a knee injury, but he's tough and he's willing to accept that's going to be the case all year, that he's going to have that knee issue. Buntiafor, he's not a big minute player, but now a regular starter. Marata Niakore, he was excellent last week, 150 metres. There's now Egan, no marker, so he accepts those extra few metres on offer and then provides for Fanua Blake. On the last, it's Metcalf, the former Shark, to the corner. Well weighted and well timed by Montoya, all over the Canberra fullback, Chris.
Yeah, well done there by Chris too. He's under all sorts of pressure. The Warriors have done good just to get up the other end of the field and get some field position. The Raiders now coming off their own line, 10 out.
Chris, these fullbacks since round one missed last week, but it's his position. Albert Hopewadi. He's going to be part of the club for many years, re-signed until 2025. As Chris goes forward, Wolford to Papali'i. He's averaged 140 plus metres this last month. Close down here, so the kick for Whiten, he's got a 40-20 this year. He's in the perfect position, but he doesn't put the angle on it, although Nickel Cookstar a little nervous, the former Raider, pulls it in eventually. So now we've just settled down. And we look set for a really good game of football here. And how Tani Zalesniak forces it. Finds, Nickel Cookstar to Hot Croker. Wouldn't that have been something? But now the Warriors are in quicksand. Tani Zalesniak can't quite shake off Hopewadi. The Raiders are bringing some real intensity here. Nickel Cookstar, though, you know he is a man that will roll the sleeves up. 4 years at the Raiders. 4 very good years. There's Harris down the edge. So Johnson giving it the lot. And the bounce here makes the decision for the Raiders pretty easy. Hopewadi happy to let that one go past him.
Yeah, he did well not to play at the ball too. It was Johnson with a big kick downfield. The hard ground there, just the bounce of the ball, dead in goal. 7 tackles set now for the Canberra Raiders, but defensively, they've been good early in this game. They would have pinpointed their back 5, how hard they run. They've done a good job on them so far.
So here now is Joey Tarpany with that excellent footwork. As he got past Harris and got to halfway. Wolford looking for the 6 more tackles. The claim, Egan not square. The ref satisfied he was. Here's White. Now on the Croker. Oh, great tackle around the legs by the man on debut. Leotau. Sent left to right. With Fogarty dumping it off. Papali'i. Well handled. Ford there. Oh, but they can't stop the offload. Wolford. Horsburgh. Whiten not quite ready. Whiten looking. Palming. And then tackled. So the final play is Young goes into dummy half, and it's going to be Fogarty. Now that one is going to go close to the end goal. It's a chance. It's Timoko. He contorts himself over. And it's going upstairs as no try.
We've got no try, mate. Can we just check that there's a Warriors knock on first? And then whether it gets to the line here.
Yeah, I reckon they're going to have a look to see if it's a double movement here. Well, a couple of things to look at from this crossfield kick. How good has Papali'i
Right side kick chasers are
and
onside.
Tarpany been to start this game, albeit the Raiders have had a lot of ball. And they'd have how they'd be going if they had to defend a lot more. Here's the challenge now.
There's no touch there.
Well, they've all had air swings here.
Marcelo Montoya's left hand touches the ball
I think his finger's bent back here,
and
Rob.
knocks it on.
So it's going to be Canberra ball at worst. That's not a great
Playing
angle.
on at this stage.
But the
Jeez.
other angle showed that I think there was a bending of the fingers there. So Timoko, his body was just in the wrong position. Oh, I tell you.
Just need to see if Matt Tomoko gets the ball on the try line.
Certainly not a double movement, is a block. So it's just a question of did he get it on the line.
Is there a little bobble right at the end here? Just watch his right arm as it hits the ground.
So he's not tackled here, so he can advance.
He's short.
Yeah, and he's bobbled it anyway, I think.
Ball is then grounded short of the try line.
So not bobbled, but Canberra ball.
You get to play the ball. I'll tell you what it does do with
Just
all
need to see
this
if any momentum
looking
gets
at
him
it.
over the goal line.
It gives the Warriors a big break here.
73% of the game has been played at this northern end.
Just looking at all available angles to see if the ball gets down in the in goal there.
Well, okay, so satisfied Casey Badger that it's not a knock-on. So we're not done here yet.
Well, there's momentum taking him over. It looks like he was short.
Well, and there was our hand under there. It was the hand of Pompey preventing that from being grounded.
I reckon there's a bit of ball over the line.
But
So
based on all available angles, we'll be supporting the on-field decision.
My
of
goodness,
held up.
they would have burnt down New Zealand Facebook if that was given a try.
Touch knocked on here. So it's held up, so you're going to have a tackle 0.
But
Out
there
here.
I reckon he's only got half his hand under the ball there.
well, you think he might have got it on the ground?
I reckon he might have.
Timeline's held up. Tackle 0 because of knock on.
Anyway, they've got a good break.
On the line.
I'll say this, if Grant Atkins called it a try, from what Casey Badger said, it would have held. So the on-field decision there became all important. So the Raiders, though, continue the attack. So it comes to Papali'i. Hasn't scored this year. It's about the only thing he hasn't done. Oh, look how many he needed to swarm in. 3 of them there with Nicole Klockstar and Harris waiting in case they were needed. Out it goes Fogarty. On to White. White is passed well read as Whitehead does well to hold on to it. They've opened up now the left where Tarpanen threatens to pass. Happy to go forward. Warriors continuing to hold their line here. Their deep left set, here it comes. Oh, Horsburgh into a cul-de-sac, so goes himself. On the last, the kick. Oh, great work. Sean Johnson plucks it out and prevents it from going in the in goal. They've done remarkably well to hang on here. And now Whitehead dropping Watene Zelezniak.
We were asking before the game what Whitehead brings. That's exactly what he brings there. Just trying to force the error. Gets up off his line and puts a cruncher on. Here he goes again.
There's now Pompey. This is tackle 4. They're nowhere near the 20-metre line. The fatigue of the Warriors showing all that defence. Nicole Klockstar barely over the 20. They're going to need every bit of Johnson's boot. A kick like his previous one. That one not quite as flush. And here's Rapana. Running towards Harrison Afoa. So Canberra right on top early, but nothing to show for it as yet. Albarati. There's Croker. And a few touches early now, third one. There's Horsburgh to Papali'i. Warriors, 6 tackles they've been charged with missing. As now Fogarty takes off. All red. The inside Harris. Egan there as well. 2 tackles remain. It comes to Horsburgh. On it goes. Oh, bad pass. And Whiten can't take it. It was behind him. And are we just starting to see some signs of frustration from the Raiders? Although that doesn't help the Warriors' cause. Another charge for the home side.
Yeah, I was mentioning the amount of runs that Lesniak has, and they've really pinpointed him. They've put some crunching tackles on him. He loses the football. With the Canberra Raiders feed, loosen feed here. Saying that he might have got hit a little bit high, but get back out there to the right wing there, son.
On, 15 seconds.
Let's get on with it. The Raiders, they've got to show something for it. He's a tough defence again.
Oof. Geez, Whiten will feel good about that, dropping the pass, and then it was his effort there that helped jolt that ball free.
Clock off. Stay back.
Yeah, with the amount of ball they've had now, the Raiders have got to get on the scoreboard here.
Timothy, one-on-one with Pompey. Makes the tackle quickly. Here's Fogarty. Full of confidence at the moment, Jamal Fogarty. Just distributing here. And that risks a set restart. Mitch Barnett taking an eternity to get off. As now it's Fogarty on for White on the angle. Here's Sebastian Chris. And there the man on debut makes another good tackle. He survived a couple of early tests. Tower. Here's Papali'i. Within range again. Barnett there. So was Niakorte. 2 tackles left. Oh, Young. They knew where that was going, but he keeps it alive, Hudson, as now Horsburgh pins the years back. Last tackle. They come here. Tarpany. Oh, that's a forward pass. Doesn't matter, comes to the Warriors anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Dan. The Canberra Raiders getting a little bit frustrated. You've got to mount pressure and build pressure. They should have grabbed it in behind there and got the repeat set. Just trying to force the pass.
So the Warriors, the 4th best defence in the premiership, and I think we've got a good understanding there as to why. Peppered their line for 16 and a half minutes, and the Raiders could not crack them. Nickel Cookstad. Oh, that's a heavy shot there from Tarpany. Warriors, it's the fewest points they've conceded at this point for 12 years. Vanilla Blake, he's been in terrific form. Johnson, just over halfway. Could be a contest here. Tenny's Lesniak coming through. Oh, he could not balk Hopewadi. That's wonderful composure from the young man.
Yeah, that was a beautiful take there by Hopewadi. A good response there from the Warriors too. Long kick. Let's see if they can bridge up in defence here.
It's a big night here on Fox. This game, the big one with Jared Croker's 300th, and then Manly and the Dolphins from Four Pines Park. As Hopewadi works it forward. Young had overrun Whiten, so Whiten takes the prudent option. Fogarty, he doesn't quite get that flush. No problem for Montoya. Now the field position is much better for the Warriors. Tenny's Lesniak. He's been superb this year. That's a tremendous run.
Gee, they get you on the front foot early in the tackle count, don't they? The Warriors, as I mentioned earlier, better than any other side in the NRL, I reckon.
Jackson Ford, regular starter. Barely started in his 5 years at the Dragons, but he's got that spot all his now in the second row. Barnett, second game back from a neck injury. 20-metre line, 2 tackles left. Egan. On to for Harris. Here's Metcalf. Delayed the pass, but Fogarty all over Ford. Last tackle. Egan comes back to the middle. Metcalf with the kick. Oh, Croker, that's too easy. Oh, but he's caught one in the ribs there from Sean Johnson. So now the Raiders, their turn to bring it out from their own line. This crowd block, it's relentless here at GIO Stadium. It's fantastic. And they're still coming in, by the way. The ACT Chief Minister, he declared any boss who didn't let a Raiders fan off early today is a bum. He invoked Bob Hawke.
That's something Hawke would say.
And now here's Fogarty. And, well, I think they listened because they've been piling up here well before this game, despite the early kickoff. Josh Papali'i, 8 runs, 78 metres. That's an outstanding opening stint, but par for the course for him in recent weeks. Here's Harris now. And tackle 4. Short side. Oh, forward pass called. So,
Scrum, boys.
bit perplexed Wade Egan. Someone was very confident. You could hear through the effects microphone that was forward. So the touch judge there, the man who makes the decision.
Well, what you got to understand when you're playing against the Raiders in this sort of crowd and the amount of noise that they make, there's going to be touch and go calls that are not going to go your way. You just got to get on with it now.
Lock in, please, Chance.
You're right, Dan, about Josh Papali'i, a man inspired in the first 20 minutes here. He's played more footy with Jared Croker than anyone. 226 games. I'm sure that was lighting his fire here today. And the Warriors, the worst period of their games this season has been the opening 20 minutes. Well, they don't trail today. They've had to shoulder a fair bit of burden defensively. So overall, sound start by the visitors.
You are so right, Matty. And their record from the 20-minute mark is outstanding. So the signs are good for them, but the Canberra side won't go away, that's for sure. Emre Gula played every game this year, and he's at the 30-metre line. There's Horsburgh to White. And then he gives it to just a touch flat-footed. Comes back here, Horsburgh. Back in the middle after a couple of weeks on the edge. Here's Timokor. Beautiful right foot step. Inside Pompey. Inside forward. Then the offload. Whitehead comes to the middle. Inside the 10. Then finds the shoulder of Fanua Blake. Last tackle. Fogarty. White. The kick. That ricochets. That's a live ball. That's a try. It's Jack White who scores. And finally, the Raiders have crossed the line and got some points on the board, and of course it's Jack White.
Well, you know you can put that down to Timoko. He needs some early ball, that young fella. He's a tackle buster. They come to the left-hand side of the field, a ricochet of Jack White and a perfect bounce, and finally the Raiders have scored. They've had all the football, all the field position, and what a place to score. Right under the post for Jack White. It'll be 6-0 in favour of the Raiders.
You could say there's a little bit of luck involved, but when you're this close and you pepper the line this many times, eventually something's going to happen like that. Jack White here, diving over like Steve Maven. And you talk about Canberra Raider players in form. Ever since he announced he was leaving, he has been in top-notch form.
Well, we know what a quality player he is, given up playing for New South Wales this season, Jack White, and what a great player he is. I love it when he runs the football.
Oh, yeah. He's been so selective with it in recent weeks. Russell Crowe had a concert down here, and he stopped to talk to the crowd. He spoke about two things, the voice, which he's very passionate about, and apologising to the Canberra people for signing Jack White. I'm not sure that was well received, but I know Russell's very, very happy with his signing, and Jared Croker now with 300 signs behind him. And he's on the board in game 300. Raiders 6, Warriors 0.
And that's now 200 points for Jared Croker against the Warriors, his most against any club. He also scores his most tries against the Warriors. This crowd made some noise, let me tell you, when Jack White went over. And you've spoken about the way the Canberra Raiders have saved their season. They put the Jack White move to bed. They welcomed Jared Croker back into the lineup. They've won 7 of their last 8. They're up to make it 8 of 9 with White and flying through the air like that.
Indeed. Here's Ricky. That's about as composed as we see Ricky for a celebration. That was almost relief, wasn't it? They had to score first, didn't they? They had to get the first one considering the domination. But don't write these Warriors off. They're not going anywhere. Oh, there's a shot. Now, Jackson Ford, apologetic. And now Rapana, who's had his HIA issues this year, twice.
It's being reviewed.
And this might be a problem for both Rapana and Jackson Ford.
Well, I think Jackson Ford is saying this might be a little bit of a head clash because he's holding his head here. Yep, oh yeah.
Guys, go away.
So the bunker dealing with
It
this.
doesn't look good, Case. No,
Oh,
Case,
is that Barnett?
Case.
Now, Barnett's got a history. Is it him with that left arm? Well,
Case, I don't like
it
that.
looks across the shoulder from that angle, doesn't it, Block?
Yeah, you're not allowed to hit in the head with any part of your body. I think the point of the shoulder after the first point of
Oh,
contact.
yeah.
Has hit him on the chin here.
Gee, it's amazing how things look different on different angles. This could be a real problem for Mitch Barnett.
Arm out, Case. Are you happy with that only? Oh, wait, when you're mentioning those things, are you happy with that only? Okay.
He'd be lucky to stay on.
Well, is only
For 10
a
minutes.
sin bin
Yeah.
as opposed to sent off.
Okay. Mitch! It's on report.
Yeah.
10.
And you can argue, Block, it could have been worse.
You can, exactly.
Because there's a very good chance we're not going to see much more of Jordan Rapiner tonight.
Well, you heard the referee say, is that all? Do you want to give it a little bit more than that?
I think what you're saying is you think Grant Atkins would have been quite content to send him from the field.
Well, I think he might have been after he saw the condition here. Rapiner's coming off, holding onto his jaw.
So, of course, it was the Brisbane game where he was completely KO'd, and then won a few weeks after that. He certainly looks in a better state there than he did a couple of minutes ago. But now the Warriors in a bit of trouble here. They've done all the defending, and now they've got 10 minutes with a man in the bin. They've been wonderful, actually, in 12 v 13 situations. They've only conceded 2 tries in 40 minutes this year, the Warriors. And the Raiders have actually been poor 13 v 12. Now, that doesn't mean that's going to happen again, but at least the Warriors go in knowing they can hang on here.
And Dan, we just saw them having a look at the side of the face of Jordan Rapiner, so he'll go for head injury assessment, but also to have that jaw checked out. People asking this week why Ricky keeps Nick Kotrick on the bench. Well, isn't it golden right now? He's on and straight into the back line.
Same thing happened against South a couple of weeks ago, Matt. They needed him. There was an outside back situation. So it's worked out well again. And now here's Whitehead steaming onto it. And a full set. There's Tarpanet, again evasive. They're finding it so hard to put him down. Egan in no hurry to let Tarpanet play it. Whitehead. 3 tackles left. They're attacking the side. The man Bin would normally be covering. Timbercore just short. He's Fogarty on for White on the angle. Beautiful palm. The crafty attempt there from Croker.
Purse is knocked down.
And it's going to be
knocked down by the
Warriors knock on. So Croker passing it into a Warrior who knocked it forward. There's Wateni Zalesniak. He's the man charged with the knock on here.
Yeah, Jack Whiten looking up and seeing Johnson in front of him. I'm going to take him on. He's done that a couple of times now. Gee, they've had some football, haven't they? The Raiders, you would think they'll score here.
37 tackles in the opposition half to 8. 13 v 12. It couldn't be stacked any more favourably. Kotrick into the game. Then out on that right wing.
Get Timoko some early ball here.
He's done it from a scrum before too. Here is Fogarty. Goes himself. Doesn't fool them. Metcalf there. Is now bumping away Timoko. Boy, he loves contact, this young man, doesn't he? Matt Timoko. Try line just in front of him. Raiders looking for their second. Adam Pompey was screaming for extra help on that side. Fortunately for him, the ball went the other way. Raiders now with Wolford waiting. Young the decoy. White the receiver. Out it goes Hopewadi. Strong, but he can't get through Wateni Zalesniak. Malaya White. Young charging onto it. And that was Egan around the ankles. Try-saving play. Last tackle. Oh, it didn't go according to Wolford's plan. Oh, not again. Not again for Fogarty. It's a live ball. He didn't hit the post, but he got close.
I'm going to go tackle 6 here. We've got a no try. Can we check the grounding, please?
I was just watching Tohu Harris too. He's injured. Got himself somehow back in the line. There would have been another man down. Courageous stuff from him.
So Fogarty, we saw
Right side
this
to Chase's onside.
last week to such great effect, kicking towards the goalpost. And that hasn't been touched by...
Just looking to see if Elliot Whitehead knocks on here.
hasn't been touched with the hand, has it? So this should be a live ball after all of this.
It misses Elliot Whitehead's hands. We're just going to see where the ball now goes.
Well, Whitehead.
Just trying to see if the ball is grounded by the Warriors or the Raiders here.
Yeah, I don't think Whitehead. I think Whitehead doesn't ground the ball here.
It's almost, if he gets it, it's accidental. Oh, I tell you what, good luck, Casey Badger. Remember, the original call is no try, and that may prove to be very important here.
Let's look
Whitehead's
through all
claiming it.
available angles to see if we can see if anyone grounds the ball or touches it.
Oh, hang on.
Elliot Whitehead knocks on in the in goal. We
He's
have-
knocked it on, yeah.
Knocks on.
I don't think he had control.
He
all the
doesn't
way
know
down.
yet. He doesn't know. Now I think he does.
I think he knocks the ball on into his leg.
He looked like a wrestler in the ring, and the Stone Cold music just went off. The stunned look on his face. Jordan Rapiner there.
A strikeout there, Dan, but as you can see, Jordan Rapiner back on the bench. He's passed his head injury assessment. As long as there's no delayed symptoms, he'll return as soon as that 15-minute window expires.
All right, that's good news, Matty. That's 2 tries now disallowed, and both very, very close. So the Warriors have earned this situation where they're only down by the converted try, but it could be a lot worse. And Mitch Barnett, so they've soaked up 4 minutes with him in the bin. Short side play here as Jackson Ford makes good territory, but hang on, that's come out and it's Raiders ball and it's live. Here's White on to Croker, spinning away from Wateni Zalesniak. Hobawadi unmarked as the defence comes across. Full set here for the Raiders. And Croker, too experienced to do anything silly, with 6 tackles to work with. Young. This is masochistic from the Warriors. Just continuing to force themselves to have to defend. Young didn't like that. Carpenet inside the 10. Harris there. Egan as well. Oh, ball's been
He's
lost.
leaving the ruck, mate. He's going back out of the ruck.
Ball's been lost, and I don't believe there'll be a challenge here.
Warriors feed.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame. He's been their best, hasn't he? Tarpany loses the ball, makes a mistake. You can see the relief on the Raiders. Yeah, it's just a poor play the ball.
Let's go, scrum clock's on.
There's no hand on the football there. Pleading with the referee.
13 seconds.
Well, this could only
10 seconds.
uh,
Heads in, let's go, Wade, straight in.
boost the Warriors to survive yet again.
Stay there, clock off. Stay there, Zach.
Canberra Stadium, pretty as a picture tonight. The weather gods have been kind. It's
Simple
not
thing,
too
come on,
chilly.
heads in.
Obviously,
Heads
it's
in.
clear.
Let's get down. Sean, get him.
Yes,
Heads in. Hold. Break.
a few nerves in the crowd. You can feel. Oh, Wateni Zalesniak, and that's a penalty. That's a penalty.
Just not on time of.
Now, this is just the second penalty of the game. Obviously, Mitch Barnett was the first one, and we saw what happened there. Whiten went in with everything. He threw the kitchen sink, and well.
Yeah, he's up and about. Jack, it's on report.
And that's it. On report.
Let's go.
I don't reckon anything could happen with that. It was an air swing over the top.
Moving on.
Maybe,
Good
perhaps,
collision.
contact.
Contact on the shoulder with the head.
Yeah. What Tohu was saying is, what's the difference between that and Mitch Barnett? But you've got to think what the force was totally different. But it's a question. It's a question from Harris worth asking. Why is one on report and 10 and one just on report? But the Warriors, again, oh, now, Canberra, they just letting emotions take over here.
It's an easy way to get out of your own end when you've been struggling all first half.
Here's the experience of Johnson. No need to rush.
Back-to-back penalties for the Warriors.
Let's just waste time here. Man in the bin. Yes. Now this is experience. Yes, he finally woke up, man Atkins. But well played, Johnson. That took about 15 seconds off.
What's he got, about 3.5 minutes left? Something like that.
Good on Crookstone. Well, this would be enormous. If they can fashion a try here with Barnett in the bin and no ball at this end, that would be enormous. Vanilla Blake to the 20. Harris. Johnson. Now Nickel Crookstone. Man on debut. That's out. Insup wants to go again. Well handled by Croker. Inside the 10. Nickel Crookstone. Oh, he's well handled here. 2 tackles remain. Now it's Johnson. Out to Egan. Here's Metcalf. And the man who gives a 2 forward. Cut down. Fogarty with the tackle. Last. Oh, they dearly love 6 more here. Johnson. He puts plenty on this. Watene Zelezniak! You see it, but you can't believe it. How has he contorted himself? Even for Dallin Watene Zelezniak. That is quite simply unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a magnificent take there. But what about the crossfield kick there from Johnson? I thought he nearly kicked it into the grandstand. Looked like he put a little bit too much on it, but it was pinpoint. Lesniak, look at that for a take. You won't see anything better than that. Look at that.
Oh, come on.
Unbelievable.
Come on, he's got one of these in him every week, it seems.
Look at him calling for it from Johnson. Hopewadi caught in field. What a take. You won't see anything better than that. How good are the wingers these days at finishing?
My goodness. Watene Zelezniak, this is probably the best he's played in his career, what he's put together this year. That's out of this world.
And what an effort it has been from the Warriors. They have been under the pump.
The 33 minutes we've seen encapsulates their season to this point. There's a grit here that hasn't been there before. We got a serious game here in Canberra, a serious game between 2 very good outfits. Johnson. And that one, oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. 6 points all.
What a performance and what a winger he is. Dallin Watene Zelezniak. No wonder Sean Johnson is smiling. They practiced that yesterday at training and execute beautifully on game night. Look at it again, but back to the winger. Watene Zelezniak runs the ball so hard, eats so many metres, but through the air, so athletic, very much the modern day prototype for the winger every team needs. And what's incredible, they're doing it with 12 men. They've had only 35% of the ball and only 30% of the territory.
It's phenomenal what they've delivered. That's a try only he could score, you would imagine. That kick, I wonder if that was the plan, to put it that high up, because if it's pinpoint, only Watene Zelezniak could have gone up and got it. Hopewadi couldn't have gone up there with him. Hello, Horsburgh. Watene Zelezniak. Oh, Hudson Young, he's not going to miss this. He just places his head on the shoulder of his former teammate. Vanilla Blake there.
I don't think it has, Kaz.
Well, the tone of this game has changed completely.
Hey.
It's been a contest, hasn't it? Both sides are into each other. I think Horsburgh was minding his own business here. A little bit of a collision.
So Watene Zelezniak pushed Young away, and then... Well, this is going to need some bunker intervention here, perhaps.
Jaron. Dallin.
So that was Young, pushed away by Watene Zelezniak. Horsburgh took exception. Now what, that little clip there, not much in that, but we've got a hair pull involved. Hudson Young, and he's grabbed Watene Zelezniak, okay, by the back of the jersey, and maybe he got some hair there as well.
Yeah, which starts it? Right.
That's a little slap.
I don't think anything else happens, Case. I don't think anything else happens beyond that.
I think Horsburgh handled himself pretty well there.
I don't think anyone needs to be going off for this block, do they?
No.
Let's move on here. Just some big boys letting off a bit of steam.
It doesn't feel like anything else.
It's really interesting, the interaction between Grant Atkins and the bunker tonight, really taking a role
okay, that's
here.
how I'm going with Case. We've settled here. Darling out here. You've started this by coming in. Penalties against you.
Well,
You came in and started it.
that was Warriors' ball.
Off you go.
Oh, look at the grin. Look at the grin on Big Red.
As I said a little bit earlier, it's going to be tough to get a call. Here comes Barnett now.
So he's going to come on and do some defending. Well done to the Warriors. They outscored the Raiders 6-0 with that man in the bin. I'm not sure we saw hair pulling there, Block, even though he may have had his hair pulled. That's one for the team back in the Clive Churchill studio to talk about. Now, what's the plan here? I think they're going for 2. Croker's got the ball placed on the 20.
We have plenty of time to review it. He started it. We're moving on.
But that's a reaction from things. So he didn't start it.
But I've told you what we've done. We had plenty of time to review it. It's been reviewed. That's the outcome. That's the end of segment.
So Toru Harris is having a frustrating night with Grant Atkins so far.
Well handled, mate. That's how you want to be spoken to by the ref, isn't it? If you're the skipper.
Quite respectful.
Yes.
Josh Papali'i, of course, heading up the VB hard-earned index. Usual suspects top of the leaderboard there. Joey Tarpany, he was excellent. Both had 8 runs with their first stint. So it looks like the Raiders are going to edge out back in front here.
Well, that's how close they think it's going to be after 80 minutes anyway. Take the points on offer.
You can't blame them at all. And Croker 2 from 2 tonight. So the Raiders back out in front, 8 points to 6. Jared Croker, the 3rd greatest scorer of all time. His next mark, if he wants to go on next year, 318 games. That's the great Jason Croker who blew the horn tonight. And I'll tell you what, Josh Papali'i, we talk about him, he could get to 300 next year as well, injury permitting. So there might be a couple of very big days next year. The way he's been going since his return block, Jared Croker, you wouldn't blame him if he wanted to go around again next year.
And he did it the hard way too. Don't forget he was in reserve grade for a few weeks there.
100%.
Backed himself. Now he's back in the ones.
So 1 try apiece here. So back to the studio at half-time. Cooper Cronk and Corey Parker with Vonnie to take you through the first half here, getting you ready for the second game. Manly and the Dolphins. Dolphins don't lose 2 in a row often, which is something they're trying to avoid tonight. Horsburgh, near Corey wanted a piece of him. Nullified Horsburgh pretty well to this point, the Warriors. He's had 9 runs, but only 60-odd metres. As he comes back to the middle tonight. Now, oh, that's a high kick from Fogarty, and no good.
Play the ball.
No, it does. It just bounced in the field of play. Oh, that was close.
Play the ball in the centre
Montoya was happy to let that one bounce. He's unhappy with himself, but it could have been worse.
You just come off the side of the boot there. Montoya did well just to watch it and not attempt to catch it.
Wayne Montoya, you can see the touch judge, he just held back a bit. And the way Montoya reacted, it was as if he watched it sail over the touchline, but
He's 10, hold, wait.
those extra few metres, very handy for Canberra here. Warriors still deep in their own territory. Fanil Blake now. It's a big stint from him. Now it's Tohu Harris. Here's Metcalf chiming in. Adam Pompey. Closed down. The settler. Newville Cookster. This is the last. And that one, that goes up high as well. The Tenders of Lesniak coming through. Oh, that's a good catch. Imagine that, you've got Murata near Korea steaming downfield at Hopewadi. He's nerveless, Albert Hopewadi. Couple where they've balked him and it just has not phased him at all.
Gee, there's been some brutal defence here in the first half, in the first 40. So they can keep it up in the second half.
Strong run, Kotrick, and Sebastian Chris receives the offload. Well, they've got to hang on here, the Warriors. They've worked so hard to be this close. And Whiten now deep inside the 40. And Montoya, patient. Canberra have had 60% of the ball, 62% of the territory. Wonder who goes in happy, a block at half-time. Continues Lesniak.
Well, I think the Warriors will be with the amount of ball that the Canberra Raiders have had. Only the one try. Cookstar, look at him. Just winds up, gets himself against his old club. Does this week in and week out. That's 2 carries in that set.
You get blasé about it, but he just doesn't stop. Oh, Fanil Blake's offload. Wade Egan with the dummy. Oh, it fooled Whiten, but there, crucially, was Starling. The help of Young. Close enough for an attacking kick. 30 seconds to go. A repeat's no good. Up they go. Wateni Lesniak helping bat that back, but it's off the Raiders. 22 seconds to go. Well, what do they go with here? Johnson at dummy half. Would they be so brazen as to go for a field goal, or are they going to go for the try? Johnson on the left. Fanil Blake. Johnson. Ford hitting onto it. Needs to get up quickly. Loses it anyway. Loses it anyway. So the Warriors make a bit of a mess with those last couple of plays, but aside from that, real resilience shown by them.
Wait the 10 seconds.
This is a terrific contest. It's what we expected. We're here to celebrate Jared Croker's 300th, but we're getting a hell of a contest. Half-time, Durio Stadium. The Raiders 8, the Warriors 6. Did you see that, Touchy? Did you see that? I got up high, didn't I? Here we go, second half. In front of a near full house. And it's Adam Fanil Blake bringing it back. The Warriors, twice this year, they've overcome half-time deficits, and it's a skinny deficit at that tonight. The Raiders 6-2 when they lead at the break. Their period this year where they've struggled, the last 20 minutes of games. So the Warriors might just need to hang in and take advantage at the end. But you know they'll be running on fumes because of all the defence.
And especially the forward that Sean Johnson's been in for the Warriors, you get the chance that if they get down the other end, he'll put something on. Fogarty has played solid.
Oh, that's a terrific offload from the fullback. His second run of the set too. Now near Corday. Wonderful set from the Warriors to open this second half. They've got 70 metres, and now Johnson. Contest. Pompey, is he onside? Think so. Tap backwards, still the last. Montoya, Timoko all over him. And brings that to a close.
He's been unbelievable for Noah Blake too, just the start of the second half. As you mentioned, he played the whole first half. And especially when they were a man down to the Warriors. So it's a wonderful effort, leading the way there for the Warriors. He's run about 75 metres already in this game.
Canberra win this, they'll be equal top of the table. And yes, most of the teams have their games to play. Warriors would be equal third if they were to win here in the capital, Hopewadi. Matt Timmick, most runs for Canberra up to this point as Horsburgh running down the edge. Starling only got 11 minutes last week. Well, he's going to get a lot more tonight, it would seem. Salo with the offload. Starling supposed to burrow his way underneath. Now, oh, he's kicked the belly here, Whiten. And, oh, great catch. Nickel Cookster, another one of the hyphen players. That's a terrific take.
Yeah, gee, it dropped on him too. As you said, he hit right in the belly of the ball. It dropped. Hockstar had to just readjust just at the last second. Great take.
Well, you wonder if Whiten got it flush, and they're the nasty ones, aren't they? The ones that aren't quite out of the middle. And here's Roteni Zelezniak. Now it's Egan. Johnson back on the inside. They're caught him. And this one, this set, not as imposing as the previous one, but an effective one nonetheless. Chris brings it back as we go down to the sideline. Here's Matt Russell.
Ricky Stewart really happy with the first 40, the energy and intensity praised by the coach. He thought the defence around the ruck could tighten a little, watching the likes of Egan, Johnson, Metcalf and co. Given the act of foul play, they have interchanges to burn. He said, don't leave anything out there, run yourself ragged and get off. Andrew Webster said that his side could go to another level in the second half and actually should be excited to put some pressure on the Raiders' red zone. Defensively, he had a few concerns, but said, boys, with only 39% of the ball, I expect that.
Thank you, Matty. Here's another tester. This one's going to be allowed to bounce. Oh, he gets a nice bounce and straight into stride, Nickel Cookster. So both coaches very positive, it would seem, in those in the sheds at half-time. Canberra were in good spirits. A lot of them were making a beeline to Corey Horsburgh and showing him the roundhouse that he threw out there. Barnett. He ran over Gula, but Gula comes back at the help of Horsburgh and Salwar. Now near Corday. Boy, that's a strong run. Oh, that's a terrible pass from Wade Egan. He's got one of those a game, hasn't he, Block? Just every now and then, a bad one.
Yeah, just jumping back to the short side, looking like you're going to go the open, and then going back the short side, just slipped out of his hand.
Scrums in the middle.
Noah Blake was on the boil there too. Got great footwork, but there's the first mistake of the second half there. They'll be confident now. A turnover around about the halfway line for the Raiders.
You wonder why the Warriors have had no ball in good field position. That completion rate's a part of the problem, a big part.
Heads in.
Just 67% completion.
Fuck off. Tom, get in. Tom, get in. Oh, right.
The defence is what's keeping this so close at the moment. And Sebastian Chris to halfway. Now Matt Timmick down the middle. Here's Horsburgh against the grain. Away from Ford and Barnett. It's still pretty comfortably handled in the end. Short sign for Whiten. Looking for the little runaround, or at least shaping for that, as Young carries it to the 30.
I think they've lost their way. Papali'i not on the field. Tarpany, they need those two guys back on.
You wouldn't think they'd be too far away as it comes down cross field. A little set play. Rapana, like a slingshot. Now taken down. 10 metres away. Close enough for an attacking kick.
Yeah, full back court on the ground there.
No set restart. Here's the high low. Coming down and, oh, what a catch. That's a tremendous take in traffic. That's the man on debut. And now Canberra offside. So, a gift here for the visitors. Only lay a tower. Andrew Webster said before the game, this young man's full of confidence. I think we're getting a good indication of that. He doesn't seem phased at all by first grade.
Yeah, it's a beautiful take, isn't it? But Lesniak there lined himself up to take the ball. He knows he's going to get whacked every time. He's a courageous player.
So now here are the Warriors with a full set inside Raiders territory. Haven't seen the lead yet tonight. And now this is Tom Arlen. Played every game this year. Fanua Blake comes off for a break. He's been out there from the get-go as Harris to Johnson. Johnson to Nicole Krogstad. Running out of room here. Tower. Infield it comes. Harris for Ale. Nice and fresh. No offload though. Zalo first to meet him. Here's Harris. Johnson wants it. Johnson flicks it. Egan keeps it going. Nicole Krogstad, the little runaround play. Egan's kick, that'll be 6 more. The hand stuck up by Croker, and now going through, Tower. Oh, just taken down. Chris saves it, but a full set for the Warriors. Out there, they swarm in the Raiders. So now it's Canberra's turn to defend their line. No hurry to get off here. Barnett at first receiver. They know he's going to run. Horsburgh there, so is Starling. So is Whitehead. Back it comes now, Johnson. That was a bullet out of dummy half. Now, Nicole Krogstad goes himself and scores. Nicole Krogstad scores on his old home ground, and the Warriors take the lead.
Nicole Krogstad, as I said, is always involved in the play. This time, just got that little bit of a skip on the outside. Croker can't make the tackle. The 300 game man. That was always the worry. They're a skillful side, aren't they? Look at that speed, just skips on the outside. Krogstad. What about the engine on this bloke? Always involved in the game. Just uses his pace to get on the outside of Croker. And the Warriors are first to score in the second half.
Well, they know what he's all about, the Canberra faithful. This man was superb in his 4 years here, 66 games. An outstanding performance in the grand final. But this has silenced the crowd. This is as silent as the crowd has been all night. They've earned this, the Warriors. They have earned this lead. But, still 31 minutes to play.
Well, they had to come out full of energy in the second half. They've done that. First to score.
15 runs to get to those 125 metres. And he ain't going to stop. So the breathing exercise, and Holly Tower involved in that. Well, the Warriors chasing their 8th win of the year. And now we finally have a tee. Jack Whiten said it. It's that sin bin period which looms large. They didn't take advantage. In fact, they conceded a try.
And the first time they've been behind on the scoreboard too.
And that gave the Warriors this opportunity to take the lead. And he's heard these before. He kicked one from the sideline in the first half. And he makes it. Warriors 12, Canberra 8.
Charles Nicole Krogstad, he feels fondly about the Raiders, and likewise Ricky Stewart and the Raiders about him during his stay here. Didn't put a foot wrong, but spent most of last season camped behind Xavier Savage. Actually broke down in tears when he played his final New South Wales Cup game for the Raiders here last year, and admitted pre-game he was looking forward to coming back. He circled the diary, and here he is crossing as number 1, starting number 1 for the Warriors. Interesting looking forward, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck inbound. Chanel Harris-Tavita returning. Yeah. It's going to be a congested spine at the Warriors in 2024.
Indeed, Matty. It's been fascinating. Andrew Webster, he loves Nicole Krogstad. He made it clear Roger ain't going to be fullback while Nicole Krogstad is there. Very definitive with those comments. That Nicole Krogstad is the number 1. And is now near quarter. He's been tremendous, hasn't he, in this early part of the second half. Barnett.
Well, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, they started just before 10 minutes before half-time. They got a lot more ball. They started the second half well. They've got the first try, and they're starting to get on a roll here.
Egan evades Horsburgh. Very good set again. As they easily cross halfway. So Johnson, plenty of height on this. No one really wants it. Hopewadi A rare poor moment. 6 more tackles. Opawati didn't know if he was supposed to catch it or not. And now Tom Arleb burrows his way to the 10. Huge chance for the visitors. Now Mitch Barnett straightening on tackle number 2. Here's Johnson on the run. Near corner, charging at the line. It was Sailor down low, stopping his progress. That's a poor pass, and Nickel Clockstar can't handle it. Now Croker comes away. This time it's the Raiders that have been let off the hook.
They're just trying to be a little bit too tricky, and they win the penalty. So it's Egan that comes away with the bad pass from dummy half, and then the second grab gives away the penalty.
When you play the ball, do not
And
push
back-to-back mistakes there from Wade Egan.
Pick it up again.
So
Just give me the tip.
they'd want those moments over again. Raiders have been on the back foot all second half here.
Hold here, wait, Tom. Hold.
So now the Raiders cross their own 30 from that penalty kick. As Gula, 6th year at the Raiders in first grade. Well, Harris in no hurry to get off. We've only had the 3-set restarts, all going Canberra's way. With now 3 penalties apiece. Horsburgh getting it on. White, Young. Geez, they've been all over Hudson Young tonight, the Warriors. Johnson there first to meet him as Horsburgh. Oh, he flicks it. Johnson gets in the way.
Johnson.
It's a Johnson knock on.
Sean got his hands to it first and knock on.
You hear Grant Atkins confirming that. Canberra scrum.
Yeah, just trying to force the issue there, the Canberra Raiders. Horsburgh is this time, squeezing that pass out. Lucky Johnson doesn't get the foot. He goes in and behind and knocks the ball on into Starling. They need a bit of luck, a little bit of more field position now for the Raiders. They have to respond.
It was good anticipation, wasn't it, for Johnson, but just couldn't finish it off and take that ball back. So Canberra looking to hit back after conceding the early try in the second half. 8-6 they led at the break. Whiten! Left foot step, but Harris hangs on. Near corner up top. Durbin. Warriors a little reluctant to allow Canberra to play it here. Is Horsburgh. Horsburgh with a strong charge. As Ford gets off. Here's Fogarty. Now to Gula. Here's White. Inside for Chris. Harris on the inside. And the ball comes free. And it's a Canberra knock-off.
What are you tackling for?
The Nico Clockstar. There's some...
Clock on.
There's some emotion from him. We don't normally see that sort of reaction from Chance. Josh Curran about to enter the game.
Yeah, I like Josh Curran too. He'll come on and do a job.
Backs on the line, both.
Played all over the place in the back rows, played in the centres.
Come together.
Is he trying to offload the ball there? Or
Well,
a loose carry?
is that a little stripping motion? I mean, they could have challenged, so that's on Canberra if they thought it was a strip, but Warriors
Back,
ball.
stay, hold. Wait.
Oh, there's a hit from Rapana. Not that it matters, but both sides have a bye after this week, so they can absolutely empty the tank. This is beautiful ball movement now as Pompey sends his man Metcalf down the sideline. Links up with Nickel Clockstar. Gets it on the inside to Pompey. How is Nickel Clockstar covering all this ground? Warriors now looking to click into gear. Well, Taya up to the 20-metre line. Egan looking left. He's got Johnson. Johnson gets it on. Here's a run. Haven't seen much of that from Metcalf. Just involving himself now. Oh, beautiful pass. Tom Arleb crashes over. And the Warriors get another. Oh, Tohu Harris with the pass. Arleb flying through. And this is getting away from the Raiders.
Now, what about the soft hands there? Is it Tohu Harris, the experience, the captain there of the Warriors with soft hands? But LA, what about that for a run? I'll tell you what, it really looks like Niokore is going to be the man that's going to make the bust there on that right-hand side. Clockstar, as you mentioned, is everywhere. But just sit back and watch his second man play. Soft hands. That's a great run. Back-to-back tries for the Warriors. They're a dangerous football side. They've hung on all first half. Go in at half-time. Behind on the scoreboard. Look at this. Looking to go out the back. Hits the front man. And they're not going to stop him that close to the line.
First career try, Tom Arlett. It's taken him a little while to get going in the NRL. He's had the taste of it over the last few years, but he's really made a fist of it this year coming off the bench. He's played every game. They love him here. They've signed him till 2025. He debuted at this ground in 2020. Now he's got another very happy memory here at GIO Stadium. So Johnson, now the crowd really is murmuring. And the lead balloons, biggest of the night. Warriors 18-8.
And the Warriors have already won 3 times on the road this season, Dan, in North Queensland, at Cronulla against Canterbury at Sydney Olympic Park. This would be a big road victory for them if they can go on with the job. Still 23 minutes left, a long way to play. Big Tom Arlett, a great sight if you're a Warriors fan, but the message has just gone out from Ricky Stewart. How strong are we? A direct quote from the coach sitting sideline.
Well, that's the difference between the two sides. Just every time we see the Warriors now that get in that 20-metre line, they've got the players who can break tackles. The Canberra Raiders up the other end haven't been able to convert their opportunities. And the Warriors, they're on a roll now.
This outfit has played one finals game in 11 years, but this is different gravy, what they're serving up this year. Curran, been a bench player this year. Really a breakout season last year was Barnett now. And you can see now a bit of urgency about Canberra in their defence. Curran wasn't part of the team early in the season, but very much now a regular off the bench. Nicole Clockstar, he gets stronger as the game gets longer. Get a good indication. Luke Metcalf got motor, can't he, as he ran down the sideline in the lead up to that last try. Hobawati. So 22 minutes to go. All these Canberra fans just dreaming of a fairy tale of Croker scoring and kicking the goal to put them back in front near the finish. And they've got some work to do here, the Raiders. Young. Brown trying to lift their troops. Papali'i. They need him back now. They need runs like this. That's a 15-metre run. Oh, he still wanted to offload as well. Maybe 20 metres he made on the last. Close enough to trouble the Warriors here. Although that's a little deep. Timoko can't balk Nickel Cookstar. And he takes off. And he takes the tap. Well, Montoya was there waiting, but so were the defenders. No sides really testing the ref here or in seeing how much latitude he's giving in terms of slow play the balls. Martinez Lesniak. Tom Arlett takes the walkie-talkie. Coach probably says, well done. Oh, that's a dangerous tackle. That's a penalty. That's a penalty.
Yeah, Tarpany there, just with a little bit of a lifting motion there.
Now, Sean Johnson kicked an absolutely stunning goal at Cronulla in the rain from a long range. Would you consider, from 42 metres out on a pretty good angle, it's pretty much in front, going for 2?
No, look, I think they're starting to roll over the top of the Canberra Raiders now. The more ball they've got, they're going to take the kick for touch. I reckon they're pretty confident here.
They should be, because they've looked sharp, haven't they? So they're going to keep going. So he's putting the ball runner in a dangerous position. Won't hear any more from that tackle, you wouldn't think, but penalty nonetheless. Barnett just outside the 20. Canberra have to hold on. The game here Really depends on them not being breached again. This is Bailey Sirinen just entering the game. Egan short side. Johnson, Subtle. To the tackle of White, finishing off. Martel. Now, Johnson for Harris. Harris for Metcalf, pushing away from Bogan. Well contained, but still 2 tackles left. Deep left here, Ford desperate to get a piece of it, but it's coming the other way. Johnson, Curran against the grain, and hurls it. Harris. 1 play left. Here's Johnson on the short side. Nigel Klokstad with the dummy. Gets away from Croker, but Croker comes back, and that was a must. That was a non-negotiable for the Raiders. They had to survive that set.
Yeah, they did, but I think he did well too. Klokstad there to hang on to the ball. Would have been tempted to flick it out in the back. And they've got the Raiders right where they want them.
So the Raiders, this is what the Warriors were doing in the first half, just doing it tough. You know they've got to manufacture the next try. Manly Dolphins is coming up after this. The teams are in. Valence Tafade is going to start at lock in that game. So he comes in, the Colt figure, to play in first grade yet again. Ray Stone going back to the bench. So Fogarty, he's got some on this. That's a big torpedo. That's 65 on the full. That's probably an 80-metre kick.
Just get your both feet on the line.
The reward, 7 tackles for the Warriors.
Yeah, that's a couple of times that they've given the easy football back to the Warriors. They got a hold of that one, plenty of purchase on it. The 7 tackles set again.
Not a great result. That's an extraordinary kick. But Warriors come away with it. Manny Russell talked about all the great wins they've had on the road this year. This could be top of the list, really. Consider all the emotion for the Raiders, and the Raiders are in outstanding form as well. They're no chumps. 10 up, 17 to play. Johnson really running the show in this second half as he feeds it on to Fanua Blake. So the big boppers of both sides now back out there. Sirren, early ball for Johnson. He's Nickel Klokstad. Then they create numbers as Wateni Zelezniak goes to ground. No tower. Nickel Klokstad, last tackle. Johnson on the run. Oh, what a ball! What a pass! Sumptuous from Sean Johnson. And it's Luke Metcalf who scores, but that is all. Sean Johnson.
Yeah, you can put it down to a lot of quick play the balls, but Andrew Webster, what a coach he is for the Warriors. Just watch the players in motion there.
Well, we need
under
to find
the posts.
out, Block, what has happened here after Johnson threw the pass.
He's no.
You can see here, he's in no man's land.
Mate, you could have picked 4 players there to score.
Oh dear, oh dear. What has happened? I think he's asking the trainer what happened. Well, this is going to be an enormous replay.
Watch how many Blakes could score here.
Oh, geez, that replay doesn't tell us much, does it? Here's the angle that might. Well,
Has he been collected by it?
I think this is an accidental head clash of something. This might be friendly fire.
I think he might have just caught the...
Oh, okay.
head
Well, it's
clash.
not friendly fire, but it's accidental with Whitehead there.
Yes.
And now, just as well they scored, because he's going to be... I think that's the end of his night. Sean Johnson.
Okay, it's a minute 20, time off.
Right. Oh, jeez. Dude.
Yes. Elliot's come out to the fence. I mean,
Well, his night's over.
They've just hit heads. Mate, it's an accident. It's a complete accident.
come out, it's a late hit accident.
Mate, I've answered the question.
Yeah, I know, but if we start doing it, it's going to be an accident as well.
No, if it's late, it's late.
Oh, jeez.
So I'd rather talk about the football they're playing, the Warriors. Just see them all lining up to score that try. Nickel Clockstead coming into first receiver, going at the line.
Look, I know we hear the term duty of care, Block, but he's done nothing wrong there, Whitehead, has he?
No.
You can't be punishing him for that. No,
he turned his head. It's accidental.
So Johnson, well, it might be the end of his night. We'll wait and see. It's been a stunning second half from him.
Whatever you do, don't blow your nose there in that situation.
Now they're up what will be 16 with 15 to play.
How good have they been in the second half? The Warriors are unstoppable.
It was 8-6 at half time. It's now the Warriors running away, 24-8.
We'll get a report on Shaun Johnson as soon as we can, Dan, but as you mentioned, they're into a bye next weekend, so if he does have to stand down, they will have the breathing room for that. Luke Metcalf running onto the pass, though, and Luke Metcalf had one key instruction today: support, 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 and there he is, supporting Johnson and flashing over for the try. Important because getting even better for the Warriors are the players they expect back over the next couple of weeks. Rocco Berry, Edward Corsi, Tamare Martin, a halves option, Viliami Vailea, Dylan Walker. Not only are they winning on the road, they're building a nice bank of points with players on the comeback.
Well, this is it, Matt. This is what they've done often in years gone by during the Origin period, but they built up a heap of points before we even got the Origin period.
Well, 4 unanswered tries here. They've scored the last 4, the Warriors. They're just on a roll. They can't hang on. They're getting blasted through the middle with the quicker men getting in the dummy half. A first receiver from the Warriors.
This is Jackson Ford, fittest player at the club according to Andrew Webster. Well, right in there, Corey, boy, he's been strong, particularly since half-time. We're in the last 15 minutes. 6 more tackles as well. Well, how many times do milestone games end the wrong way for the team celebrating? And right now, it looks like it's going to be that way again. Vanilla Blake to the 30. So it's been all hit-ups here. Now the one half they've got gets involved. Curran with the run. This is early in the count because of that set restart. And look where they are. Fanua Blake. They just retreated. Papali'i waited for Fanua Blake to come to him, as did the other defenders. Try line beckoning. Can they get another? It's a crash play near Corday. No, they got under him. And there'll be one play left.
Well, he's the bloke that deserves the try. Near Corday.
They've done all that with just forward brutality.
It's the last tackle on the 10.
Now they might need some deft touch here. Metcalf calling the shots. Egan to that man, Metcalf. Now that's been played at, or has it? 6 more tackles, it has been played at. Warriors can just about put this to bed. Canberra on the ropes. Warriors showing no mercy. Out it comes. Barnett to the 10. Egan goes himself and strolls over. Oh, it's the Warriors' night tonight. This has been a class performance, and the Warriors are doing it in style.
You talk about style. He's a crafty player, this bloke. Got depth passing out of dummy half. This time he selects himself and throws the dummy. Just a little bit slow to move from marker there, Papali'i. But they're very tired through the middle. They're getting blasted through the middle here. Just looked at the man back on the inside. There's the dummy. It was near a Corey just sprinting onto the ball. He just used him up. Players in motion again. Gee, they're a great side to watch now, aren't they, the Warriors?
Aren't they?
Been so good in the second half here.
I'll tell you what, they've got a home game coming up against South. They're going to have to build more temporary stands. Whatever that stadium holds, Mount Smart, it won't be enough. They put up a temporary stand years ago for U2. They'll need another one. So Warriors next week have got St George Illawarra. Well, no, sorry, they've got the bye next week. Their next game is in Wollongong, so they're back in Australia against the Dragons. And then an enormous home game against South Sydney.
This is amazing how the possessions turned around the second half.
And they've taken advantage of it.
They have.
Canberra did not.
That's right.
But the Warriors certainly have. And this massive crowd here in Canberra is going to go home disappointed. So Pompey makes the kick. And this lead now 30-8.
And that's the scoreline, Dan, that the Warriors beat the Dolphins with last start, their biggest win of the season. So with time and plenty of it left here, they could well go on and build their biggest win of the season and first back-to-back successes since round 5. You talk of the big home crowds looming at Mount Smart. We've had 21,082 here tonight. So the biggest crowd here at Canberra since Mal Meninga farewelled the game. Those sort of numbers will be seen at Mount Smart, delighting these players because already they're averaging the biggest crowds in a long, long time at Mount Smart.
Wow, that is an enormous crowd. And it's a reconfigured stadium, so it doesn't hold as many as it used to. That's great stuff for a 6 o'clock Friday game. But it looks like the Warriors are going to be going home with the 2 points. Manly Dolphins coming up. There's the hammer. He's back. The Dolphins coming off a loss to the Warriors, and Turbo Tom. What's he going to deliver on the eve of Origin? And Manly were down here the last time Canberra had a home game, and they're doing in the second half, the Warriors, what Manly did. Canberra got to be careful here. Their for and against is already ordinary, and they're being blown out of the water again. Metcalf with the kick. Wateni Zelezniak. Now that's going to be a live ball. It's Metcalf, goes for the corner. 6 more tackles.
Yeah, watch them wade their middle here.
Wateni Zelezniak hurt. Hobbles back to the sideline. Here's Mitch Barnett.
Straight down the middle third here, you watch.
Geez, Barnett's been busy. Probably feels the Aussies team after going to the bin. That's his 17th run. Harris to Fanua-Blake. They've done so much damage down the middle. But really, outside that Wateni Zelezniak freak try, it's all been tries in the middle. Harris, Metcalf, calling near Cordair back infield. Happy to be patient here. Why not? Run the clock down and try and build on this lead. Here's Harris. As it comes back out now, Metcalf. Nickel Cookster. Oh! Moves one way, then moves the other. Oscillating. So last tackle here. And Metcalf kicking towards Pompey. Pompey's tall. Mistimes that. Warriors knock on. So finally the Raiders will get it back. But look at them, hands on knees. So the Raiders here as a fullback tops the VB hard-earned index. But we shouldn't be surprised, should we? Charles Nickel Cookster. 20 runs he's credited with. But then there's all those other plays where he's involved with, but he doesn't get the run to his name. Here's Operati. So Raiders also have the bye next week. There's Horsburgh, shakes his head. Doesn't mean his night. Whiten for Timoko, some space. Then the wild pass.
Play the ball, Warriors.
Well, they're trying desperate things now.
Yeah, didn't give his outside man much of a chance there. Timoko been better off taking the tackle or cutting back in field.
I brought up, Block, the games that you played in. Wayne Pearce's farewell, and Balmain were a very good team. Then Parramatta had sort of passed their peak, but Parramatta won that day, and then you had a farewell game which didn't go well. The emotion during the week, and listen, let's not take away from the Warriors. What they've produced tonight is what they've produced all year. But there's no doubt Canberra has run out of gas here.
Well, they've had no ball in the second half, have they? It's been all the Warriors. Had to do a lot of defence. Here they go again. Gee, they're good to watch when they attack.
Yeah. Expressing themselves a bit. Remember, no Sean Johnson. Doesn't seem to matter. There's Tohu Harris. Gula wants to rip it out, but he's picked the wrong target there. Egan. Vanilla Blake. Barnett in traffic. He's lost that. He's lost that, so Canberra will get that one back.
I think he wants to challenge this one.
We've got a captain's challenge. We're coming into tackle 4. I've ruled a knock-on off Mitch Barnett. He hits a Raiders player.
So from our angle, it looked like a knock-on, but we'll see here. He's very quick to ask for the challenge.
So I tell you what, they've got some forwards that share the workload around, haven't they?
Well, that looks like a knock-on, doesn't it? That was touched by Whitehead.
The Warriors I'm speaking of, you got players in motion. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. Got blokes with the ability to pass the ball before the line
Mitch
too.
Barnett knocks on into a defender. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Just puts the defence on notice when you've got blokes who can pass the ball that well. Their middlemen are so good at it.
Back here, guys on the 10.
So they're going to go to equal third, the Warriors. Andrew Webster, he's had the same expression all season. There's no doubt those players believe in him. So equal third there, block but 5th. Pretty good for and against, actually, plus 34. And you see Canberra, that's their problem. They're not going to win any tiebreakers right now with that for and against.
Well, you know, you talk about coaches of the year. You've got to look at where teams have come from before he took over. I'm talking about the Warriors at the moment. It's been an outstanding, just even their style, the way they play now. Great to watch.
Dan, you talk about the emotion of celebrating a big game. Well, Jared Croker, the 18th man to post 300 at the one club, and only 6 of the 18 have celebrated that milestone with a victory. I'll run through the list. Cam Smith, Andrew Eddingshausen, Mitch Orbison, Luke Ricketson, Simon Mannering and Cooper Cronk. So great players, a great milestone for them, but more often than not, the 300 when you've done it all at one club spells doom when it comes to celebrating that occasion.
That's an amazing stat. So what's that? 6 wins, 12 losses for the 300 gamer.
33% strike rate if you've raised 300 at one club.
Wow, okay. So now Warriors can really rub it in, not that they haven't been rubbing in all second half. Here's Curran, he should be full of running. 24-0 in this second period. Here's Vanilla Blake. On the 10-metre line. Egan really has been running the show since Johnson has been off. There's now Nickel Klokstad. Well, he misfires there. You can forgive him. As Wateni Zelezniak just takes the tackle. You wonder where they'd be without that flying catch in the first half. Nothing was really doing for them. They're up against it. And that got them back level.
That's Klokstad again. What an engine.
Harris, Metcalf running a hard line forward, but Fogarty down low with the tackle. Ball comes out. Now it's Jordan Rapana collected heavily. Well, we've had a few of these little scuffles. The emotion from the crowd has really spilled out onto the field more than once.
Take your team back. I will. Take it now. I've got you.
So,
Murata.
certainly a head clash, but doesn't seem to be anything major there.
Take your team back.
Oh, hang on. From that angle, that's amazing. The different angles.
Well, that's a sin bin too.
He's Gonski.
Yeah, Murata bin.
And in the bin. Yep.
Had to be. Had to be. So a second sin bin. And they've got... That might be something to worry about in terms of what the match review has to say. Yeah, oh yeah, that's pretty clear. So the same crime that Mitch Barnett committed in the first half. Poor old Jordan Rapana, he's a magnet for shots to the head, and his night's going to end there.
Let's go, mate.
So that would be his second assessment. I'm not sure they'll even bother. Well, they have to, I suppose, determine whether it's category 1 or not. Saying that, like the Warriors, they've got the bye next week, so the 11-day situation won't be an issue. Here's Fogarty, yet to score in the second half for Raiders. Ball movement as it came out to Croker, and Croker just desperately flings it infield. As we watch the Manly side go through their paces.
And Dan, Sean Johnson just raced out of the tunnel, big smile on his face. He's passed his HIA.
Wow, that's incredible that he passed. I wonder if he's even surprised he got the green light. He certainly looks happy about it. So Sean Johnson, what an influence he had on this game tonight. Murata Niokore, by the way, has been charged 3 times this year. Twice for dangerous contact, 1 careless high tackle. Well, he might really have some worries. He's young, trying to do it all on his own. Penalty for the Raiders.
Yeah, I reckon he might be spending a few times or a few weeks on the bench.
Really, the only thing left here is to try and get Jared Croker a try and send the crowd home at least somewhat happy.
It's the complete opposite of the first half. The Canberra Raiders hardly been up here.
You'd be filthy if you bought a ticket at this end. There's been no football down here. Here's Whiten, stepping. That's okay. Oh, that's off the leg. So play continues. Papali'i will play. Back inside, Timoko. Oh, defenders everywhere. They're down to 12 again, remember, the Warriors. Wouldn't they love to stand their ground a second time with a man in the bin? 6 more tackles. That makes it harder. Here's Papali'i. Papali'i crashes over. Josh Papali'i. Looks like he scored.
He's a specialist that close to the line. Papali'i, virtually impossible to stop. Just goes straight over the top of Tohu Harris and slams the ball down. So powerful, close to the line. They get the repeat set.
Muted celebration, but at least they've got something out of this second half. And Josh Papali'i gets on the board in 2023. Yes, no question there. No question, he got that down. Over 100 metres again. But the big Warriors forwards have handled him pretty well.
Yeah, I reckon you could get a tape of him scoring 20 or 30 of them, Papali'i.
So there'll be a presentation for Jared after the game. Probably won't feel great about that, but 300 from Goulburn have come, and that will be something here for the crowd. 300 fans from the Goulburn area, where of course Jared's from. They'll be on the field for a presentation. Manly Dolphins. What are you thinking there, Block? I know Manly very firm with the bookmakers, but Dolphins, these are the sorts of games they cause trouble.
I'll tell you what, I like Marshall King back. I think he's near on their best player for the Dolphins, so he's back into the side. And the hammer back too, so gee, I can't see how Manly have got a big start there.
Yeah. Tom Gilbert's a ball, intercept try! It's Sean Johnson! No wonder he wanted to come back on! He's never scored a try like this!
Well, trying to spread the ball off their own line. The Canberra Raiders, Johnson can't believe his luck. Just picks the ball out of the air. It was a sloppy pass at best. Straight away from the kickoff. To try and move the ball.
Oh,
my golly. Johnson can't believe it.
Who does he think he is? Ryan Girdler, the intercept king. Well, he anticipated well. He couldn't believe it. It just floated. Like the, what was it, the piece of paper in American Beauty. That ball just hung up there. You know, Wayne Bennett said last week, Block, this man looks happy. He's a man of moods, but he just looks happy. Have you ever seen him happier than what we've seen this year?
Oh, I hope they sign him again. He's playing so good, isn't he? There's talk about him leaving.
Well, Andrew Webster said there's a spot here if he wants it, but they want to sign him for 1 year, and he maybe wants a little bit more.
Well, I'd give him 2 the way he's playing.
So it looks like the Warriors are going to be the last to score here. A devastating second half. And disappointment for Jared Croker. It doesn't take away what this night has been all about, what he means to the club and to the area. But not all fairy tales come true. It's like childlike, the happiness on Sean John. He's just seen it on the big screen. So stick around here on Fox League. They're running a bit late here, so they'll be straight into the kickoff there, I gather, at Brookie. And that's got to get the bounce. Oh, it does. Did it ricochet off a Raider? Yes, it did.
Because it hits Albert inside the 10.
Yeah, so the Warriors are going to get a shot here. Now, the Canberra side lost 42-12 to Manly. They're going to be careful here. It's already a pretty ordinary scoreline against them, but we might, the Warriors might want one more.
Can you believe it was 8-6 at half time? The Raiders were winning.
So enjoy the rest of the footy here on Fox League. Round 15 continuing. It's been a special night here in Canberra. Extraordinary scenes before the game. Jared Croker in tears before he even came out. And a massive crowd has really made this such an event, and the Warriors have stood up to it and flourished and won in style. The Warriors are for real. Jared Croker will have better nights. The Warriors get better and better. Full time in the capital. Warriors 36, Canberra 14.